Hey guys, Dylan from the Geek Duo here, and today I will bring you my reaction to Hazbin Hotel Season 1, Episode 3, titled Scrambled Eggs. While the hotel's guests and crew spend the day learning about trust, information revealed at a meeting of overlords leads to a respectless dispute. I don't know why that was so hard for me to read. I don't think that's formatted properly, but yes, scrambled eggs sort of makes me think that this is going to be a serpentious episode, given that he had those little egg boys, as he called them. But, and I know I forgot to do this in the second episode, but the synopsis for this tells me that the song Respectless is going to be in this, which means we're going to get a character that I want to see expanded upon because I don't actually know much about them in this, even though we've already seen them in the show. And one thing I wanted to do before actually getting into this episode is taking a look at the voice cast for this show, because there are a lot of high talent names in this. Like Stephanie Beatrix, obviously know her. Rosa from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. She was in Into the Heights. In the Heights, I think it is. She was Mirabelle in Encanto. Alex Brightman, obviously, as I said, I know him as Beetlejuice. Keith David was Dr. Facilier in The Princess and the Frog. Kimiko Glenn, she plays a character in Waitress, the one who sings When He Sees Me, which I have heard that in my work playlist. Erica Henningsen, who was Katie Heron in the Broadway Mean Girls. I don't know Angel Dust or Alistair's VAs or anything they've been in. Christian Ball, who played Vox, was a replacement for Bert in Mary Poppins, played Emmett in Legally Blonde. Lily Cooper was a stand-in for Elphaba. And, Jessica Vosk, which is Lute, was Elphaba in Wicked. So there's a lot of Broadway, like big Broadway performance stars in this show. And also the fact that one of the members from The Living Tombstone is apparently worked on the soundtrack for this. So already, even just hearing that, which I did hear before I started the show, I just forgot, I knew the music was going to be good. But yeah, they've got a wide range of like critically acclaimed musical stars in this. And I can't wait to hear some of the songs, because obviously, as I found out in the first episode, I haven't heard all of the songs from this. Because I'd never heard Happy Day in Hell. I had heard Hell is Forever. I had heard Stayed Gone. There's a song in this that I'm pretty sure is going to be in this episode that I've heard, called Respectless. Yeah, so I'm going to put it out there. When I heard the one who voiced Velvet in the last episode, I thought she was going to have been in 6. I thought she was I actually thought she was one of the ones who played Amber Lynn, but yeah, no, I was wrong about that. So just wanted to get my egg on my face, so let's get this started in 3, 2, 1, go. Oh yeah, just a warning, there is one song from this show. I don't know what episode it's going to be in, but when it starts, I'm not going to be able to stop myself from singing along, so. I want one of those, little demons. Um, that's not really, a rehabilitation thing. That okay, that one may be trying to kill you, but also I wouldn't call Vaggy purple. Aww. Or at least no more evil bidding. Of course, dear boy is eating a deer and raw. She seemed a little excited about that. I mean, I can trust all of them for something. I can trust him to serve me a drink. I can trust Nifty to try and stab me. I love the dynamic. I noticed that Husk, when it came down to it, was the one to catch him, though. Yeah, that. Oh, even the low quality in the background, you can still see it. I'd say Nifty's gotta be one of the better characters. Hmm. Does that build off of my theory in the last one? Would Lewis still count as Holy Arms? Hmm. My eyes didn't go wide at Giant Woman. What are you talking about? And there she is. Alright, I did notice that he can take the filter off his voice. He did that a little bit in episode 1, I think it was. Why are you there, Velvet? I don't think you count as an overlord. Okay, maybe she does. How did you get the... I expect him to be slurping. Mm, hmm. It's all I praise and display. Yeah, I was so confused when I first heard this song, and I'm like, who the fuck are the V's? We can't act without more intelligence. You for breakfast. This wasn't the song I was talking about, but apparently it applies too, with my inability to not sing. Yes, she did have an interesting reaction to that. Well, that was a productive meeting. That was fun. Those are kids. Did not know that. Hmm. They do prove useful. Friends of yours? I mean, you've got a point. Her, I expect, but as soon as it turned sexual, Husk is out of it. Well, I do think she seemed a little militant when I first addressed. Oh, jump off the roof again. He didn't seem to take any damage from it, so... I didn't know you got a song. Did she lose more kids in that, or...? No, it was to protect, it sounds like. I mean, it makes sense. Also, this does tie into a different song as well. I didn't... You're getting part of this as well. You really like singing on that, crow's nest, don't you? Hmm. I can't tell if they're trying to hint at a familial bond between those two. With them having pretty much the same goals, just for different people. Hmm. I love how when he goes full dark, it's almost like he's glitching out the camera recording the entire show. The effect. Because that's twice now he's brought up those symbols and it's flickered across the actual show. I think Alistair treated them better than they did. God damn it, Frank. Okay. So he paid no credit to what he said. Okay. That was probably the best outcome of that. I had a feeling the secret wasn't going to be kept for long, but I didn't think it was going to be immediately. Hmm. Now I need to check out who voiced Camilla and Zestial. Because that was not the voice I was expecting from Zestial when he was singing. Because I'd heard the "we can't act without more intelligence" line. James Monroe Inglehart and Daphne Rubin Vega. Interesting. One sec. Well, the one who played Zestial was the genie in the Aladdin Broadway, and also Asmodeus in Hell of a Boss. And the one who voiced Camilla was in the Rocky Horror Picture Show as Magenta, and also Mimi in Rent. Okay. So again, two more big productions brought into this show. And it's interesting that, sure, there were two different tones for the songs between Respectless and whatever the second song was called, because I've not heard that one before. But she had a different voice between when she was addressing Velvet and when she was singing the Power Ballad, which normally you don't have the singers sing almost two different voices in this, especially in the same episode, right after the other. But then again, Zestial sounded completely different in the second song as well. To be fair, the first one was more of his talking voice, and I was not expecting the Egg Boys to be so useful, especially with the title being Scrambled Eggs. I was expecting them to go out in quite a bloody way, but no, they proved to be handy. Well, at least Frank did. The others just stood guard like they were told to. And yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see who's the next person to overhear that Camilla killed the angel, and how is that going to end badly? Because there's no way that gets kept from the other overlords. Okay, so there's no credit for who plays Camilla's daughters or who voiced the other Overlord. That's weird. Oh. Apparently Blake Roman also does the Egg Boys though. So that's Angel Dust and the Egg Boys. Yeah, little ashamed of myself how immediately, soon as a giant woman walked out of the elevator, my eyes went, ooh. I think if you've watching this, you've seen my other content, you know the kind of thing that gets my attention. But interesting that the Overlords didn't actually do anything. Like, they started having a meeting talking about figures and that, about the extermination, how much of hell's been wiped out by the angels and all of that. But for it to be the second half of the synopsis, the Overlord meeting didn't really amount to anything other than it led into the scene where Camilla talks to Zestial about having killed the angel. And he does make a point. So, the way I'm seeing it is these Overlords are in charge of souls. Like, they have specific sections that they're in charge of. Like, the V's apparently all have a seat, yet only Velvet showed up. So, and we know they each have their own gathering. We know Alistair's the type to make deals and take souls and everything. Camilla seems... she's a weapons... she's an arms dealer and everything. As Velvet said, isn't that what the guns you make are for? Don't know about Zestial. Don't know about the other two that were there. Was it 2 or 3 others? But oh yeah, no, there was 3 because there was also the one that I've seen from another song. And well, I know where she shows up again, so I'm going to say she's in charge of all of those people. So, yeah. It's going to be interesting, because is it that these Overlords, the more people that they bring into their specific fold of hell, so like, the more viewers of VoxNet, well, the Vox TV set, the more people on Velvet's social media, the more people acting in and watching Valentino's porn, the more people listening into Alistair's radio show, does that boost their power? And so Camilla, being an arms dealer, which would have the widest reach in all of hell, that's how she was powerful enough to take on an angel. And that's why Zestial was like, don't you want to flaunt your power and everything? Like, you've done something we thought was impossible. And yeah, so is that how it is? Like, the more they have in their specific overreach is directly proportional to their power? Which, again, makes me wonder, what are Zestial, the skull-headed one, and the big hellhound, what are their areas? Because, as it seems, it seems like Husk and Nifty, like they've sold their souls to Alistair. Like that's pretty clear. Plus, that was said in the first episode. Like Husk wouldn't be there if Alistair wasn't forcing him, which means he's got some control over him. So it's curious to see, is it their business that gives them the power, or is it souls? Because Alistair seems to be the only one directly dealing in souls. So, or is that just an extra boost on top of his abilities as the radio demon and all the people that listen to it? Is the souls a different aspect as well, which explains why he is so powerful. Which then makes me wonder, what about the higher ups? Like, I haven't seen any of Hell of a Boss, so I don't know what Mammon, Asmodeus, and I assume there's going to be other sins shown, what their power level is. But Lucifer, you'd think between angelic power, which, why can't he do anything with the terms of extermination? He was an archangel. I don't know if the archangel is still a thing in this show, but they're meant to be the elitist of the elite, Hell's warrior generals and everything. Like Michael, Gabriel, Lucifer, Raphael. I think there's a fifth one. They're meant to be the top of the top in terms of combat. And it did say in the first episode that Adam was the leader of Heaven's armies and everything. But even outside of that, Lucifer was one of the first. So you'd think that he'd have the ability to stop it. And yes, he did make it so that all Hellborn, which means his daughter, apparently the imps and hellhounds, all of that, all of them are protected from the extermination. It's only people who have died and then been reborn in hell. That I did have that explained to me, what was meant by Hellborn versus extermination targets. But yeah, so he does obviously have some power and sway, but I guess it's not enough to like protect all of hell. Or maybe it is a whole, we're only not going to target these people if you don't stop us. And that is why there's no reference of any angels being killed, because Lucifer himself isn't able to show that he's powerful enough to do it. And so it's just been, no one's reached that power level yet. Because as I've said, I've only heard the songs. Like, I knew that there was something about a beheaded angel, and it was in relation to Camilla. But I wasn't sure if that was just Velvet taunting her, trying to sow dissent amongst the people gathered, or if it actually was. So, Anyway, got a lot to think about. But I guess with that being said, I'll catch you in the next one.